We're going to do a little bit of stuff and things. And there's that. All right, here we go.
Correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
The further the planet from your star, the better the collector that you are. Gravity is the thing that you're looking for, and yes, we do expect to raise the floor.
If you're looking for your place in space, you found it. Not just any metaverse, it's the Solaverse. Welcome to the Solaverse Show with your host, Dave Storm.
What's going on, everybody? I forgot. That thing takes a second to quit. Hey, so yeah, it's time for another edition of the Solaverse Show. My name is Dave, aka Big Yoda, and I will be one of your hosts today. I am going to be joined by a guest here to be named in one moment, and we're going to talk about some things, what has happened in the Solaverse this week, and there has been, we're just going to say, a lot that has transpired, and we originally wanted to try and get John on here, and because we moved our schedule around and all that jazz, I didn't get to bring him on. But I do want to say that we have some music for him. So I wanted to play it anyway, just because I think it's cool. And so you guys in the community, tell me what you think whenever John comes onto the show, if we should play this.
Roger, we copy 10-4. Looks like we could use some help here with crowd control.
Alright, 24 right, have a 4.7.
1 out of 12, 1 out of 12. We have an unauthorized leak of information. 1 out of 12. We need John out here on the double.
So, yeah, that's because we all know who the perpetrator of the leakage of information is, typically. And we all know who is the guy probably behind the scenes with the whip, saying, no, you can't say that. Oh, wait, hold on. No, you can't say that. Or something like that. I don't know. I can't do an English accent very well. But we're going to talk a little bit about a lot of the leaks that have happened. Oh, yeah, and by the way, this is show number 2. This is December the 12th this morning. The local time here in Texas is 9:20 a.m. and our guest is in the Mountain Time Zone, so we welcome him here in just a second, where it's earlier, like 8:20 in the morning, and so that corresponds to what 15:20 UTC, and that's where we're at right now as we begin the second installment of the Solaverse Show. And so I think with that, we're not going to get into a bunch of the leaks and all that stuff just yet. I think I'm going to bring on our owner spotlight, and we're going to go from there.
Searching the Solaverse far and wide to bring you this Solastar owner spotlight.
Ooh. All right, there we go. Without further ado, we bring on the man that you guys would recognize immediately as Bongabite.
Hey everyone. Not sure if I was already on stream. I got it open, but it's a little wonky. And I just wanted to say, hey, I'm happy to be here. And yeah, loving all the music and the energy you got going, and I'm ready to talk some Solaverse.
Hey, we're trying, and I just realized that in the first 5 minutes of the show that everything seemed to be overmodulated. So we're just gonna have to say sorry for the first 5 minutes that Dave was so loud, and we're we're gonna try and work on that, and hopefully be a little better.
Hey, working out the kinks, right?
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do in Radio Land as we go. So yeah, I'm just kind of going on the fly here, trying to make sure that it sounds decent for everybody in Radio Land. But yeah, it's
He
really
doesn't like
weird
it
how
deep or
it
real.
goes. It goes. I'm not sure if maybe I've just got a bad connection here or what, because I'm making the changes on the fly, and yet the audio that I'm hearing and seeing on here is just not. I don't know. Anyway,
Ask chat, see if it's good.
yeah, I think it's good. I don't know. Yeah, chat. What do you say? What say you, chat? Is it good? First time. Oh God. You know,
Bot in the chat.
first time guy, and what he's gonna do is come in here and like post a bunch of crap. What the heck? Anyway,
Gotta
it
take
is.
the good with the bad in the NFT space.
You take the good with the bad. That's exactly right. That's exactly right, man. So, what is going on in your world, and where are you from? You don't have to give us your actual address and all that jazz, but you're in the Mountain Time Zone. I know that, but does that mean?
I'll avoid maybe my street address, but I don't mind. If you want to come say hi, come say hi. I'm in Montana at the moment, and I mean, I've lived kind of everywhere around the country. I have you know, traveling childhood, I guess you could say. But yeah, I've really enjoyed seeing the country, and I mean, nowadays you got the metaverse that everyone's building, especially the
Right.
Solaverse, and it's become global. I mean, I'm not sure if I like the UTC time zone, but I'm sure I'll get used to it.
Right. See, that's the thing. Everything's in UTC. UTC this. I've got a mint that's happening at 1900 UTC, and also another like community event going on in another NFT project that I'm on, also at 1900 UTC. I'm not sure what the fixation is with 1900 UTC, which is 1 o'clock, which is the original time this podcast was supposed to start. 1900 UTC yesterday. And yes, for those of you that were on the chat and in Discord, yeah, I'm sorry we had to reschedule that because, yeah, unfortunately my wife had some issues yesterday with her post-op care, and so we decided to move it back a little bit. But so some of the things that I want to talk about with the owner spotlight before we get into all the leaks and all that stuff that Senna had is, you know, why are you doing it? How did you find the Solaverse originally?
Well, that's actually an interesting story, and it might be a little cringy just because I was in, you know, one of those NFT hunters who went from server to server looking for giveaways to win free stuff.
Ah, ha, ha. Yes, one of them.
But I will
You're
say
one
that
of them, huh?
I wasn't ever malicious about it. I didn't chill out to people, didn't direct DM anyone, and I honestly just kind of enjoyed immersing myself in every project I came across. Even today, I at least look at 3 to 6 projects a day just to see what's going on. You know, you come up with new ideas, you jump from server to server, and you find out what attracts people, and you learn how to sift out the good from the bad pretty quick. So, not that, you know, any project could be bad per se, but some projects take longer than others to get off the ground.
Right.
Anyways, I joined the NFT space back in June, I want to say. And my first foray was Zed Run, if you've ever heard of it. It's a horse racing game.
You know, I almost bought into that yesterday. I was sitting there just on my computer bored, and I found that, and I'm like, wow, this looks cool. And then all the damn horses are 1 ETH. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, if you want to go big, I mean, there are plenty of cheap horses. It's actually kind of part of the reason I got off the game a little bit. Because I mean, when I first got into it, the first 2 months were just all about Zed. I was obsessed with the multiple websites that are attached to the project and the research that goes into it to find a good racing horse, because there is a lot of game theory in it, and it's really fun to actually get into it. And yeah, so I think I own 5 horses right now, They're all kind of mid-level, which is good. It's pretty good. But the price has dropped a little bit in the project because honestly, they just didn't account for how big it was going to get.
Oh,
You're allowed to breed horses, and
right.
the overpopulation just got out of control. So, and they don't have a system yet to burn horses. I'm wondering if maybe the new Ash project may come into play sometime where
Yeah.
you can earn Ash for burning NFTs. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know much about it yet, but enough.
Right. Oh, yeah, and that would be nice with some of my rug pull NFTs that I'd like to get rid of, right? And oh, and by the way, before I'm remiss, Obsidian Core, Savannah. Hey, Savannah, how about that? Look at that. Dane, you too. That's great. And Riri, all of you guys followed in the last 15 minutes or so while we were getting the show together. So thank you very much. There's four. I think those are four people that have actually expressed an interest. I know that Savannah can't because of contractual obligations with her current job. And besides, based on what happened in the chat 2 days ago when she revealed her picture that broke the entire server, I think that would completely overshadow the star of the show, obviously.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm correct, I think she's a doctor too, which is
she's a pediatrician. Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
She's
I know.
killing life.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So that's doing something
So
right,
congrats,
living right or
congrats.
something, right?
And
Yeah.
Obsidian Core is actually my buddy I was telling you about. So I'm hoping to get him
Really?
interested in the project. So hit him up, chat. Make sure to tell him what's up.
Awesome.
And if we
And
miss
then,
anything.
and now, thanks for the follow again. Better Call Stall. That's a great name, especially because I'm into all that Breaking Bad lore, and so yeah, Better Call Stall is funny to me. I absolutely love everything that's ever come out with that show. So if somebody did an NFT project based on Breaking Bad, I'm in. I'm all in 100%. Okay, so
Do you want me to get back to how I got onto this project?
That's exactly how I was going back to. Yep.
I didn't forget. We got sidetracked.
Of course, which happens. I take lots of right turns in my shows, always.
You got to engage. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it's about. So yeah, I was when I was into Zed, like in order to absorb all this research and to know what to learn beyond, following the updates in the server, I had to get involved in the community, and I'd never really used Twitter before, and I wasn't really interested in the profile pic NFT space because it's all based on popularity somewhat. I mean, a community can drive it, but you need the juice.
Right.
Yeah, and I just wasn't into it. And then these things happened with Zed, and I figured, hey, we'll go take a look. And I saw that people were making some good money, and I didn't get into the space to make money. I've been a gamer my whole life, so that's why I got into Zed, just because it was a game you could make money at. But who doesn't love money?
Yeah, you're right. Exactly, right. Especially those of us that have student loans and stuff that they have to pay off. And not mine, by the way. I have to help pay off my daughter's.
Oh.
She's a physical therapist and racked up a little bit, but it's nothing that's not manageable. But at least that's a goal.
I got lucky with scholarships and some other government programs. So
Right.
I'm lucky there. But I'm I told you before the show that I have some disabilities I'm dealing with, and I hope your wife's doing okay with everything.
She is. She's better now. Yep. She's sleeping in the other room.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so who doesn't love money? And I went into the profile game. I was joining server after server, learning. Sorry about that. It's my phone.
No, that's all right.
Learning-
Somebody just redeemed posture check, so that means we have to sit up and like be presentable here on the show.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes
I'm
when
pretty tall.
Yeah, you spend your bits, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden we have to do things. And there's some cute little games that I put in the server. So yeah.
Hey, well, thanks for looking out.
I was
for my-
slouching. I was
for my
like down
posture.
here. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So go on. Yeah. We all love money, and that's how you got into Zed. But then, what brought you here?
So I was going server to server looking for projects that would, that I could flip, entering all the giveaways and everything like that. And I don't know, like I got fed up with it. And, I think I've been fed up 2-3 times now where I'll just leave every server I'm a part of and say like, these are my 3 or 4 main projects that I'm dealing with. But they were still mid-level projects. And then I think I went... Honestly, I don't know what server I came from, but I found it in a shill of all places because
Really?
That's where I found projects, and I, I just joined it, and then I engaged with the chat. And at the time, there was only the two AMAs, and the second one had just came out. There was no white paper. I mean, there wasn't a ton of information at all. So I engaged with chat, and I was asking questions and trying to poke holes in the project, and there were holes just because there weren't information. But the community
Right.
was so driven
Right.
to just to tell me how passionate they were about it, that I understood where they were coming from. I mean, everything's a leap of faith in the end. So I I don't know, something stuck with me, and I ended up not minting right then and there. I actually left the Discord after, talking with the community and them laying it out, and I came back again a second time, probably 6 7 hours later, and chatted with them again. And I think Senna was in the chat at the time, so I got to
He
talk.
can do that for you, right?
Yeah, I got to talk a little bit with him, and the devs being in the Discord and being aware is always important. So
Right.
that was pretty great. But the community, the best thing was they didn't try to lie to me. Like, they didn't try to make any false promises. They didn't want to sell me on it. They simply just wanted to tell me why they were passionate about it,
Right.
and that stuck with me. And my gut said mint right then and there, and I did.
Yep.
So yeah, I got that first star, and from there, I've wanted more and more ever since. And luckily, that's how you and I met, and you came in and bought that second star for me when I was low budget at the time, and I just recently got it back, and I'm enjoying collecting double the rewards.
And it's a founder star and it's a planet star, so it's
Yeah.
best of both worlds, right? So yeah, that was fun. I'm holding two more stars for two other people that I'm hoping that we get all this taken care of before the mint, because I don't want to have the moral dilemma in case one of those stars winds up showing up as a legendary, right? Because then I mean, I've made the promise that you're going to get star, you're going to get star, right? But I think the floor on one of the legendaries is going to be,
Oh,
I have no idea. With only 6 out of 2,000, it wouldn't surprise me to see somebody try and list it for 100 ETH. It would not
Yeah.
surprise me.
especially since, I mean, your entire solar system's economy is based on its popularity, and those six
Right.
are gonna be popular.
Right, and that's the thing, right? You see that. You see, where was it in Sandbox, a $6 million sale that broke the record of the previous Sandbox record, which was the previous overall all-time record. Yeah, so it's
And that's like, those were like weeks apart.
right.
It's going so fast.
Right, and then this project I think it's still underrated because it's 100% grassroots. It's organic growth. Yeah, there's a few influencers involved, but the team generally has refused the big time influencers that demand freebies as a part of. Yeah, I'm going to show you, which really to me doesn't make a lot of sense. Because if you've got the following, you've already monetized yourself. Why demand additional? And I guess you can, and that's why they do it, because they have thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers, so they can demand an appearance fee, if you will, for like the stars and celebrities do. And yeah, okay, so that's great. But I have two friends that would be considered. One definitely would be an A-list. The next one probably a B-list guy, but still, it's those are guys that I've been talking to try and get in there, but they're skittish, about being outed in the NFT space. And one, I was with him after a concert, and we were just kind of roaming in Dallas, and all of a sudden we turned the corner, and there's a bar right next to where right next to where the concert had happened. And the bar is completely packed, and he all of a sudden just stops dead in his tracks, and he's like, I'm scared. And I'm like, what? And then immediately somebody turns and sees him and starts running toward. I'm like, oh shit. I don't know what that is. I do not know what it is to be recognized by a group of people that had just gone to your rock concert and be mobbed.
I'm sure it's just as bad online too. I mean,
Yeah.
you think about it, every more and more times there's more websites that demand more profile information. You got to be careful every time you sign up, because you don't know what you're putting out there, and you can go back. The internet saves everything.
Right.
If you want to hide, you you got to not be on the internet. Like, I don't know how you do it, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, I can imagine for a lot of people like that, just engaging would be impossible because they got to constantly watch their feed for all these notifications or whatever that they can't get. When I'm on Discord and I have all these servers, I have to mute everything just so I know I have my
Yeah.
main one set.
Yeah, I turned Discord off for this because I can't deal with it if it's all the time. And you can mute the notifications. But I just don't want to see them on the screen. I've got too much stuff going on here that I'm trying to keep track of. Along with comments and all this jazz. And yeah, Better Call Saul said that he didn't mean to trigger that 100-point posture check. That he was just kind of testing out to see what it was. But yeah, Woody and DRB and TJ, man, thanks for showing up in the chat. That's awesome to see you guys. But yeah, I told my story about how I got onto the show, or how I got onto the Solaverse back, on last week's show, and still I'm still amazed. The community is still 100% self-policing. The riffraff gets pushed out pretty quickly. And I mean, it's a great project to be a part of, and I really can't wait until we finish minting. I normally have it up to where I can see what the mints are, and I did not do that today for some reason. So let me pull that up right now as we're speaking. And we are at 1,480 stars minted right now. So hey, there's Loco showing up in the chat. That's awesome. And
Hey,
Loco's going to be on the show too, right? So it's like all the guys and ladies that wanted to be on the show that are in there right now. And anyway, we're at 1,480, getting close to that 1,600 mark. And that 1,600 mark is important because, one, there is a free planet giveaway that happens to the people who are minting right now to be eligible to get a free planet. That is something that was relatively recent that we needed to mention. And then, and that's really. Oh, by the way, one other thing that I wanted to mention with the star owner stuff before we start getting into news is in your star owner spotlight. Do you want to disclose what you're going to name your star? Do you want to disclose the kinds of things that you're going to be doing? Because this is your opportunity to get people to say, "Hey, yeah, I think I want to play on Bunkabyte's server or Solar System."
honestly, yeah. I know everybody's hiding their everything, and I totally understand it. But I don't know. I just have this general outlook where it's better to be open, and if you get, out first, or what's the word I'm looking for?
You're like a front
Still-
runner.
Yeah, if someone comes along and steals your idea, well then they better work, because if someone steals an idea, it's nothing until you put the work in. So
Right.
what my plan is, I'll have one personal star, which I'm gonna probably name Bongabyte, just because when I got into the NFT space, I saw that everybody was using, an alias or a gamer tag or whatever you want to call it, and I just I don't know. I came up. I was looking on different domain names, actually planning way into the future. I wanted like Byte or Bits or something like that to be in it. So I was just looking for something that sounded good, and Bongabyte, that just came off great. And
Now, do you have Bungabyte.eth?
I do not.
Okay.
I know that we talked about the ENS names in the server the other day, and it looked really interesting to me, but I am still scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to my ETH.
Oh, yeah.
Get involved in projects, and I recently just minted three wizards for the Wizard Collection, Wizard Treasure Collective, which is an offshoot of the Zed community, which is pretty great. But anyways, yeah, the one will be a personal star Bongabyte, and I mean, not that I won't try to make it great, obviously, but I think the main one I'm going to focus on is my second star, which is going to be either Beacon or Pulsar, because I want it to be sort of like a news network type deal, where you go to get information, where upcoming projects can show, because
Okay.
like I said earlier, I love diving into what's coming up. I mean, it is a little hard to find the new information and to stay up to date in this
Right.
NFT world where it seems like 3 days pass if you miss out on one.
Right.
But I think it'd be pretty great. I just love the name Pulsar and Beacon. I have an idea. I started that list of people to join on Twitter, to follow, everyone that was involved in the community. And it's fun, and I check it every day and stuff. But I think I might try to build a bot, and I actually got the name on Twitter, Sola Beacon. So I'm hoping I can get
Oh,
Beacon.
that's cool.
Yeah.
You're going to be the beacon of information in the
Well,
Solaverse, right?
It'd be nice, but that's a lot of work. So at the
Right.
moment, I'm going to plan to have it retweet a certain hashtag, probably hashtag Sola or TRV or TSV, and we'll go from there. But when you make those big promises, then they fall through, and it sucks. So I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to fall through. I want to focus on the work.
Right. Yep. I got you. Well, that sounds cool to me. I think we've already established that I have star number 420 is going to be called Sativa. It's,
Oh, are you a fellow connoisseur?
I'm in Texas, so I can't be too forthcoming with that information. So there's a certain degree of me that really wants to be cagey about it, but I'll just leave it at the fact that I know the various blends and all that jazz, and let that speak for itself, right? So,
I trained to be a bud tender. I live in Montana.
Did you
so
really?
I did. Yeah, it's legal, and as I mentioned, with all my disabilities, I deal with a lot of pain every day, and I'm not a huge fan of opiates. So
yeah, me either.
Grass really helps, and I did a ton of research in order to get that certification, of course. But at the moment, I'm not working in the in the field, and I
Right.
can't really afford it. So that's what sucks the most. I'm living, day to day in pain, but I'm pushing through it, and I found something I love to do. So I wish I could make NFTs or Web3 blockchain my life. But I'm trying to work I am working as a data analyst at the moment. So it's pretty fun.
Gotcha. So Alexander the Great Master, that is actually Nikki in chat. And so, yeah,
great
so she's
show, Nikki. By the way, I mean, grind queen at her finest. I really liked everything. So, thank you very much.
She's talking about how that's her husband's gamer name. I wonder if it's Sativa that's her gamer name, or I doubt very seriously it's going to be
Sativa, probably.
yeah. So that's kind of fun, but yeah, and here's the thing: is that the consumption of THC became legal for people like me in Texas in September, and when I say people like me, it's people with cancer, and so I can, but the law is such that it has to be under a certain amount of THC, and you cannot smoke it. It is edibles only, and so it is what
Edibles
it is.
are great.
Yeah, edibles are fine because the technique has advanced in the past, like just a couple of years, to where it's come up to where they can be very, very potent, and even a small gummy will put you on your ass, and so it's one of those things that is that at least from a standpoint of that sort of thing in Texas, it's starting to move around, but Texas still, the western edge of the Bible Belt, if you will. But so we can't really talk too much about that. But yeah, that star is out there, and then I have a bunch of stars, and so I don't know what I'm going to actually be able to do from a management perspective of all those stars, and I definitely can't afford to get all the planets associated with all those stars. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I need to get a sugar mama.
Well, that's the thing is, you have a ton of stars, obviously, and I'm just at 2, but depending on how big the project is will vary on how much work it'll take. I know Nikki was talking about sponsorships and everything when she was on, so it could be one day that you have a staff, that'd be pretty great, even if it's small.
If if the token does what I think it can do, then what I'm looking at is my number of stars will provide a daily income for me that I can afford to do that kind of thing, right? And so that's what I'm looking forward to when we get to that point. But that's still a couple of years off, right? And
yeah, you can't help but dream, though.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right? And that's the whole thing. Okay, so you know what? Let's change gears and let's talk about some of the things that have been stated, and some of the things might have made John's head pop off. No, you can't say that.
You You sound a little Irish.
A little, yeah. I can't really tell Scotland from Ireland from UK from England. You know, it's they're all just the same kind of. I don't know. You know, just the same.
I think the difference is attitude.
yeah, that's probably right. Right. All right. So on Tuesday, Senna drops some of these things. Right. That he says no matter what happens, it's almost guaranteed planets will earn a commission on the land. So if you own the planet, when somebody buys the land on that planet, you're going to get a commission. That's what it kind of sounds like to me. It's pretty straightforward, right?
Just commission, right? Or is it also like a landlord type deal, percentage?
My guess is that you're going to be getting the percentage already based on what that person does because you own the system. But it sounds like to me that when somebody buys the land on your planet, that you're going to be able to at least realize some percentage, almost like a tax or something like that.
Be pretty sweet for us owning a system, we'll get two taxes, one from
Right.
the planet and one from the star.
Right, exactly, right. So I think that's an opportunity to double dip, and I think that percentage will be very low, but still, it's something, right? And it adds up, especially for people like El Bobo, who has 200 stars, or I think 202 now.
Holy
because,
crap! I didn't know that.
Every single time somebody lists under 20. He seems to beat me to the punch because there was a 0.16 on there. As soon as I was like, oh, I got to go. And then he got me. Literally, I was hitting confirm on my MetaMask when the star went off the board. And I was like, God bless. I couldn't get it. But anyway.
If I had the ETH, I'd probably already minted 2 more.
Right. So and he goes on to say, it depends on if planets include the land or if the land is a separate feature or drop, which is what the plan is. So it sounds like from a planet pricing standpoint, the planets would obviously be much higher in price if the land came with the planets. But my guess is because the planets are going to generate passive income as NFTs, my guess would be that they'd want to keep that price at 0.04, 0.02, 0.05 at the highest, and then have the land be saleable or purchasable as the NFT goes separately. So it sounds like that's the track that he's talking about they're going to go.
Yeah, and with so much more in development, via the marketplace and all the other announcements we're probably going to go over, the lower the better, just because you can only spend so much on a game.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. And so this next comment confuses me a little bit, right? And this was a kind of a conversation, and he says land is pretty much a separate subject, but built on your stars. I don't think he means physically on the stars. I think he means something else. And so he goes on and says, you get a share of everything that's built. But if you want to buy or build land, for example, that's separate to just being a star owner. So my feeling is the star owner gets a commission on all that, the transactions that happen. And yeah, Riri just got kicked by the bot. I guess there's too many emotes going on at the same time. But you're going to get a commission on based on what happens, which is somebody buying land on one of your planets within your solar system, and then you'll get the commission based on the planet because you own the planet. So I think that he's kind of confirming a double dip. Double dip confirmed. I don't know.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing on the Discord is somebody's talking about something and I'll just come out of left field with something crazy confirmed, right? I think I've confirmed way too many things that are just completely. But I don't know.
Better start being careful that with the stream getting more popular.
Yeah, exactly. We've got all of 15 viewers here. Ooh.
I know. Hey, I'm happy about every one of them, man. I love the community.
Oh yeah, me too. Right? But from a streaming standpoint, 15 viewers is actually probably more than most streamers get because when you start going down past the first 10 in any particular genre or whatever, then you're getting into the single digit viewers already, right?
Oh yeah.
And
those are usually the host or their friend.
Right. Yeah, or like me, I have a machine and then I have another machine to monitor my Twitch, and so that counts as 2 viewers. Right, and then I've got maybe even have my phone up on just to make sure everything's running right, and that's 3. So I don't know. Okay,
Well,
so
and then you got people watching it post stream.
right. You get viewers after the fact. Yeah, absolutely. Which this one did. The first Solaverse show got quite a few after the fact, which was kind of cool. But yeah. So the let's see. So a couple of comments in chat. That is Obsidian says padding the stats, like double dipping, right? And the land may be tied to owning the star. And I think you're absolutely right. And that's Nikki saying that, right? So okay, so then there was a question that came up, and this is all still Tuesday's giant leak of information. This is where all of a sudden Santa just started spewing stuff, and I could just almost hear John. In fact, I put a comment in the chat that there was a man that was arrested going 95 on the streets of London trying to get to the Solaverse office, and when he was arrested, he was just screaming, "Santa, no! Santa, no!"
Yeah, I can't wait for the AMA. I mean, they're back and forth about leaking information is always funny.
Yeah. Okay, so then he was asked a question that he decided to answer, and he started going a mini AMA on the server, which was fantastic. So then, as a Solar Star owner, I don't remember who asked the question. I probably should have put that in my notes, but I didn't. As a Solar Star owner, can we create and share our own products or NFTs within our star? That is a question that I have been asking myself for quite a while, because I've got a friend who codes in Unity, and we are building a little dice game in Unity, and we'd like to put it on the star, right? And he and I formed a little company. We're gonna have a system that has this little dice game on it, I think. And so his answer was, long term, that's the plan. Cryptic, but it gives you the opportunity to say, all right, what does that mean? Does that mean that you'll be able to plug in your own games? I don't know. But your own NFTs? Yeah. And then later on, there was another leak that basically, I think this was Saturday, maybe Friday, where he said, John's going to kill me for saying this. We're going to get to it later, specifically about NFTs.
Yeah.
And what's that?
I said, yeah, I mean, like, I'm almost positive that you're going to be able to code your own games and, probably, host your own, galleries and auctions or whatever else you want to do.
I think so too, right? And, Nikki's in the chat saying she wants to have her own casino and strip club.
Hey, casinos are a big deal in the metaverse.
Oh, I know. I have one of the Slotty NFTs. And
yeah,
so
I do as well.
Yeah. And in fact, we wanted to breed ours and see what we could do with that, right?
Yeah, get that free little mini slotty.
Yes. Okay, so now he's addressing a question about people that say, what if I don't want to do anything with my star? Real estate, there's only he goes on to say there's only 2,000 stars, so supply and demand is going to come up. If you hold, people are going to want to build. They may come to you wanting to buy you out. In other words, hold and make a profit on your star, which is conceivable, right? The floor on the stars are going to go up considerably. I honestly don't know why there are still stars sitting out there at a mint price of 0.2, because I believe the floor for this project is going to be 10 at least. And Senna laughed at me when I said it's going to be 10. He's like, dude, no, it's going to be more like 30.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason I believe is just because we talked about posting stuff and, we don't have those shillers or whatnot, but I feel almost like bad every time I try to promote it on my Twitter, just because I want to keep the organic, people that just come across and fall in love with the project. And, I'm guessing that we're going to pick up steam here. I know we joined that new, collective of 100 projects or something like that. And today we got the thing about voting for an award.
Yeah, the 1,000. Yeah, that very exclusive club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, I mean, other than the Forbes article and whatnot, all the PR for the game is done through the community. So it's pretty great.
The bot just The bot just slapped Nikki for trying to type ho.
Oh, way to go, Nikki.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have the bot set a little bit conservatively because originally I started streaming video games in more of a family environment because so I'll go in and mess with the bot and see if we can get some of that taken out. So sorry, don't use the word ho. Just use something else. Okay, so he also is talking about the first PTE, pay to earn, play to earn, MMO strategy based that you can create competitive teams. So talking about looking for group channels on the Discord, and also goes on and says if you're a streamer, you can stream the game with no problem. You know, from an NDA standpoint or anything like that, you don't need permission to just go ahead and do it, right? As it gets more stuff out there. But that's interesting to me. If it's a pay to earn and it's an MMO strategy based, does that mean it's going to be PvP? If we're talking competitive teams, that's what it sounds like to me.
In the drop, they mentioned having spaceship battles, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be PvP a little bit, which I don't know how that's going to affect your profits. Hopefully, ships aren't too expensive.
Right. Yeah, I know, and I already have the skin for the nose of my ship done. You know, I'm ready because that picture that broke the chat the other night is going to be on the nose of my ship. So, and that'll just distract everybody. Yeah, that'll just distract everyone and be like, wow, and bam, 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 you die.
Just make yourself a target.
That's right. Paint the target. But yeah, that's whoa. Wait. We're great, John. How about you? What happened? What just happened? Chief Wiggs. Oh my word. That's John.
Oh, awesome.
That's trouble. Oh, now we have to be on our best behavior because we're talking about the things that make him crazy.
Hey, I didn't sign a non-disclosure.
Yeah, that's true. You didn't. Oh man. Okay, so there's a question here that says there's mad possibilities, Senna, and he responds with that there's going to be a million more possibilities when we release the information next year. The ideas, the creations, you're all going to be able to have will be the thing that takes this to the 100 billion level. So, that's the thing. 100 billion. 100 billion. Okay, 100 billion from a market cap standpoint. That is generational wealth for the people that have multiple stars. Because you're already sitting at most of you that have multiple stars are sitting at least 20,000 right now, right? And then everything you're going to get on top of your star, which we're speculating to be about 300,000 annually per star. And we're talking Sola, right? A $100 billion market cap means that the Sola is sitting at $1.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that brought me to this project is the token that comes along with it. I mean, all these airdrop games and whatnot that you see out there that have their own token, if it goes to $1, essentially we're getting Sola for free right now. So,
right.
I mean, that's pure profit. But I can't imagine it. I want to dream, but I also want to stay realistic. Mm-hmm. I mean, I believe in John and Senna so much. I have two different versions of the game in my head. Both are awesome, but
right.
I just can't wait.
I went out there and put a price target near term, within 5 years of 0.01, which was a 1 billion valuation, and that I feel that's conservative. I feel like that's doable. Especially when you look at some of the other metaverse projects out there that are already sitting at 1 billion or better, or like, for example, Gala, which barely has anything out there besides alpha testing stuff, sitting at 63 billion, market cap. And so the 31 billion. They're about 50 cents right now. And so they've got 63 billion outstanding. So if we're talking about 30 billion, right? That's 0.3 for us, right? And that's still an amazing amount of profit, right? And Decentraland, Mana, Decentraland isn't just $1, Nikki. Decentraland is sitting at 341 right now, I think.
I have 100. I think I have almost 200 mana. I got in early on that, so.
Yeah, I've got my stuff underneath this computer, but I've got a lot of mana in my crypto IRA, and so it took a hit. Obviously, everything took a hit. My damn IRA lost 32%, but
Yeah, with that
it'll be back.
announcement from the government, whatever that guy was, I forgot.
Yeah, no, we talked about him. Yeah, we talked about Mr. SEC Chairman asshole. Yeah, we talked about him last week, and I put it out there that I wanted to see all of his family's holdings and his friends,
Yeah.
and I wanted to see all of them that put all their cryptocurrency in USDT right before his announcement. I want to see all that because that's
ETH
not
just had
regulated.
a little bit of a bull run, I know that. So
Yeah. There's some. The gaming seems to be the gaming coins seem to be your safe haven right now because a lot of them have held some of their value. Like mana hasn't really retreated that much. ETH, when you look at it, ETH hasn't really retreated that much. 10%. That's really not bad considering Bitcoin is down 30%.
Yeah.
That's something. But anyway.
Honestly, I'm looking to probably get some ETH too, just because I've been noticing that the gas prices every day are getting more and more reasonable.
A little bit lower, yeah.
I don't think it's because of less minting. I think that they're working and they're getting closer and closer to that layer 2.
Yeah, I think so too, right? Davis Tad, first time in chat. Hey, man, welcome. And there's another question here about I didn't write the question down, but Senna's response was, in the alpha, it will be automatic. Planning to have, and I think this is talking about travel. And so they're planning to have interplanet travel during the beta and then inter-system travel by full release. And so I would think that that's actually, and this is technology Dave's talking, that travel should be fairly straightforward. I mean, in Sand, you have to go to one of those little places that brings up the entire map, and you click on a sector and you just go there, right? And so
Transporter style.
Right. And so I think this is one of those deals where you're going to be able to do that, but the idea is behind it is building the infrastructure that allows you to do that. And so that still requires some work there. Let's see. Once we start releasing info about planets and land, you'll understand why we've been so secretive and how inclusive this project is about to be. So that is cryptic at best.
And like I said, they've always been pretty vague with the information, and the more and more drops we get, you can tell that just how purposefully they're doing that. It makes you think that maybe it's going to flop, or people have that weird whatever fear. But if you've been here and you've been through several announcements and you see how much they're trying to hold back from telling us, you get that gut feeling that it's real. You know, it's may not be available, but it's real.
I get that feeling that the Solaverse office, and then Senna was talking about getting an office building or something similar, different for more space as they bring on more people. You get the feeling that there's just whiteboards all over the building, all over their whatever their workspace is, right, where they just write down stuff. And there's John saying we love a secret. That is true. And all this stuff is like behind a smoked glass windows, that you can't see into, and even the person answering the phone isn't allowed in that room, right? And so I don't know. Let's see.
They got a little layer.
Yeah. Somebody asked about staking period on the stars, and it's he said it's still being finalized. That either you have to stake the star for a day or 30 days, and it's still being finalized. I personally don't. My feeling is you stake the star, because if you don't stake the star, what happens to all the planets and all that are tied to that star? Does that just mean that you're not earning the passive income on it? I don't know. I don't know NFTs well enough to know if a stake means what
Well, the only reason to unstake a star is if you're going to try to sell it and put it on the market.
Right.
So I mean, I don't know who wouldn't have it staked.
Right, and that's the thing. If you're playing and you're earning, that just seems stupid not to stake the star, right? I mean, that's the idea of Jade, for example, right? My Jade is just always staked because they provide such an incentive to do
Steaks are delicious.
not that kind of steak, loco. But yeah, like my Jade is always staked because I'm earning on it all the time, right? And even Brig, yeah, I bought the node because it's supposed to be earning all the time. It just, so those types of things where you're earning passive income, why wouldn't you have it staked? Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to read this, and this one didn't make a lot of sense, but I'm going to read it anyway. As a star holder, staking rewards activity in-game in your system equal rewards. Transactions in-game in your system equal rewards, so people purchasing skins, consumables, etc. Then whatever's built in your system on all the planets inside, you'll be getting a share of. Whether that's two small groups of gamers building X or a company like Binance buying a platform or building a platform everybody interact with. And so that I think he's just scatter shooting possibilities out there right there, right? Ribeye. Yeah. That's a great name for a planet right there, star. Ribeye.
Ribeye.
I'll build a planet on your system, and I'll call it Capstake.
It's almost like it's not just double dipping, it's triple dipping, because they do mention that we get a percentage of all those transactions, not only on the planet, but in the marketplace. I mean, they talked about royalties. The stars earn royalties from, like, the developers of all these projects get from OpenSea. That just amazed me. I was shocked.
Right. Every time it changes hands, exactly. And I'm writing a small. Well, the same guy that's helping me with the NFT with the in the Unity engine we're also doing an NFT drop to go along with that, and so I've learned about the 7.5%. As you buy and sell, that's just 7.5% coming right back.
Yeah. And those planets, if people are buying and selling your planets, and you get a star that has multiple planets, you can make some good money.
I think so, right? Let's see. Celebrities, high-value people, he's talking about that they're in direct talks with people like Crypto Banter, Metaverse Capital, INV, Definity Launchpad, Tropo Farmer. So timing, it all boils down to timing. We haven't heard much about famous things and all this stuff yet because
partnerships.
It's just not to that point yet. So I respect that they're not trying to run before they walk, right? And they've still got scissors in their hands. So, yeah, this is, I respect that.
And I think it plays into the whole DeFi concept that, they're trying to have this game built by a community. They don't want to have all this information out there and then have it just be somewhat shareholders. They want the people who believe in the project, even without the guarantees, to be in charge of it.
Right. And so, so this is one of this small little statement is what got me immediately going with my friend Chris on the Unity engine, on the Unity platform, is where he says, doesn't matter what they build or what they do, anyone will be able to own a planet and build project related features. And so that immediately means build whatever you want to build. Somehow it's going to integrate. We don't know how that's going to happen yet, but
I wonder if maybe we'll eventually be able to build space stations. That'd be sweet.
That would be kind of cool too, right? As a little gathering thing around your planet. That'd be awesome. And then he goes on to say, we've been approached by a cannabis dispensary about the ability to build a shop on one of their planets. So I say, yeah. I say, fuck yeah to that, right?
And that actually brings me into a little bit. I did offer up a giveaway before the stream just because I was so excited about it. And the giveaway I'm offering is actually an NFT, and it could be really valuable one day because I got in real early on it. But there's a project called ET Stoners, and it's aliens, but they're actually partnered with the cannabis group. So eventually these ET Stoners will be part of a community that is all about the weed industry in the NFT space. So
that's
whoever
cool.
wins that, join the Discord server and watch out for it. So
that's cool. Yeah, John's like, they're still looking into the legals of that one. So I imagine the solicitors are probably going to have a nightmare trying to figure that out with jurisdictional nonsense. But, we'll see, right?
I don't know what other countries' laws are towards it, but I know it's a pain in the butt in the U.S.
Yeah, no, and that's because anyway, not important. They're also in discussions with other projects and businesses about viability of building within the Solaverse. I reached out to, and John, maybe you can carry this to Senna. I haven't gotten an answer yet. I'm supposed to make a keynote address to the powers that be at my company about us buying a place in the Solaverse, whether that's a star, planet, or whatever, to carry out healthcare related type of outreach, and especially in the mental health arena, right? To have actual people providing actual support from a mental health standpoint, and then accepting Sola as a payment, of course, but also getting enough information to bill services directly to insurance, and that, for the United States for the most part, but still it's gamers skew toward, what would you say, the a little bit more on the side of having mental health or emotional type of issues, and that I don't know why that is, but it is probably because as a whole, gamers are more empathetic, they're more giving of themselves, and as a consequence of that, they get trampled on and their mental health suffers. And so that's my theory, at least, because I find gamers to be much nicer people than the normal other people that are in the world.
Yeah, the thing is the whole world, the whole world kind of got a little taste of the gamer lifestyle with the whole recent pandemic and everything,
Right.
As a gamer, you're choosing to do so just because, you go where you love, you do what you like. And you cut yourself off from community when you don't have, chats every day with people, but you talk to people constantly online. There's a different feel to it. And, with the whole online health and mental health, and, you have those apps and platforms, I think it's BetterHelp or whatever it is,
Yep.
Better Me. I absolutely love it. We had Zoom appointments with our doctors and all that. So it was just kind of like a mini step, or even a large step, towards this future DeFi metaverse situation that we're building.
Right. All right.
I think that's great.
Yeah, I do too, dude. She's not a gamer. This Nikki, wearing her heart on her sleeve, but she's not a gamer. She says, yeah, okay. Oh no! You know what? I'm hearing this echo in the background, and it's all because I forgot to lay down my bed of our like cool little music thing, which is like the star music, kind of mood setting music in the background.
Oh, you forgot to play your music for John when he entered the chat, though.
That's true too, right? Well, I've already played it once, so he'll hear it when he goes back and shows that, right?
True enough.
But
save it when he's on the show too.
Yeah. So, so getting back to that, John just mentioned a thing in the chat about by the way, the keynote addresses for our company are not right now currently in person, or even really the video is necessary. It's one of those things where they need to be talked into what it means to be in the metaverse and the opportunities that exist from a financial standpoint, because companies really, at the end of the day, our CEO and CIO and all that are just interested in, is it going to make money for the company? And, which is their right. That is the duty to the shareholders. Anyway, moving on to some of the other things that Senna said. So in the alpha, players are going to be equally spread across planets. So we don't have to worry about competing with one another right now. But in the future, it's going to be important or beneficial to attract more people to your planet or your system, and that's where your shared rewards will come from in terms of the metaverse aspects. And so that's where the fun begins, he said, and that's where many reasons to maximize the efficiency of your system, meaning more people want to join. And when we're talking about land and metaverse, there's two features that they're focusing on. A bit like Sandbox, being able to have your own game metaverse, but our USP will be what you can build or use your land for. And obviously he says we can't release information at this stage, otherwise somebody will front run them. But just focus should be on the Sola token and the ability to stake your NFTs for automatic rewards for now, right? And then we'll be able to start naming stars and all that stuff. And
and just to break that down a little bit for those who might not really understand it is, they want us to focus on playing the game, just testing out the bugs, getting it working. And then also as far as the USP, they want us to focus on how we can sell or how we can create a market for the Sola token within the system. So they want us to think about, what we're going to do with that land that people are going to want to spend their Sola that they earn while playing the game on and in.
Right. Let's see. What else? And that was just Tuesday, right? So one of the other things he said is during the alpha, we're aiming to have the functionality to skin your spaceships, which means that ships will be part of the alpha. What? Yeah, I didn't know that. So that's why I have the nose covering of I picture like you remember the World War II the B-52s that would fly over Germany, and they'd always have a picture of a woman on the front of their, or whatever, right? But a lot of them had pictures of a woman on the front of the nose of the plane, right? And
Betty Boop.
Betty Boop, yeah, Betty Boop. Exactly. And so that's where that's why I stole that picture before Savannah took it down. So yeah, the spaceships skin will be secondary NFTs on a gas-free platform, which is kind of leading toward secondary L2 type of thing. And I don't know that I would ever say gas-free. Maybe lower gas, but I haven't seen anything that's gas-free.
Well, actually, I have. I mean, they're talking about building their own market. They want to make their own OpenSea, and on OpenSea, you can transfer things between people for free.
Well, and OpenSea takes a cut of it, but yeah, so that would be the same thing, right? Is
the gas? I mean,
right.
Maybe it's very minimal.
Right, yeah. right. And I actually, some of the people noticed when I took a screenshot of something and they saw, what is that VIP thing in your OpenSea? And it was a Jade VIP ticket for Big Time. There was early access. And and so I had gotten one of those, and it had increased in value to where you could sell it for like 0.3 ETH. And Big Time yesterday all of a sudden releases a new announcement on their server saying, our marketplace is up. You guys go check it out. And I check it out, and the first damn thing on there is that they're getting ready to re-release the VIP tickets. Like they're going to start selling them again. And they're going to sell the Jade ticket for $199, which is like 0.05 ETH, and I'm like, shit. So I managed to find some sucker who hadn't seen it yet, and he paid me 0.2 ETH for it. So
the Big Time, and then the Alluvium, which is another huge project. Like, I actually was on the pre-sale list, and I got the email to sign up for the project and everything. But that was when I was obsessed with Zed, so I didn't even blink at it. I joined the Discord server, and then I left it a week later. I really missed out on those projects, I think, but. Honestly, I'm happy as hell. I'm happy to hell that it got me here to the Solaverse, because even if I could pick those projects now, I wouldn't.
Right. Yeah, and I also got in Alluvium, but I didn't ever mint anything or anything in there. Right. I've got some ships in Star Atlas, but it seems like Star Atlas is never going to actually release a game. They're just going to continue selling NFTs. Right.
The thing about Star Atlas is I think it's trying to be the game I want it to be, which. As a gamer, I spent a couple years playing this game. Absolutely love it. You've probably heard of it. It's huge. EVE Online.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that is like one picture I have in my head of what the Solaverse could be. And if that's true, that's going to be a fun game. But even if it isn't, even if it's something else, it'll still be fun. But I come from that world. And if Star Atlas could become something like that, they could be huge. But if they're not going to fill the space, I'm hoping Solaverse does. Yep,
and John had confirmed it in the chat that what they're looking at is a few solutions that are 100% gas-free. So, hey, you know what? If that's out there, that's great. I would absolutely love that. That'd be fantastic. So, okay, so that kind of wraps it up for what happened on Tuesday. And then Thursday, they come back. He comes back and says, that's when they make the announcement about stars 1350 to 1600 are going to be eligible for this drawing for a free planet.
And John said that was only for the in-game secondary NFTs, of course, the gasless.
Right.
It wouldn't be for the stars or the planet, or maybe probably not the planets either.
Right. Oh, yeah. No,
Oh, secondary, yeah.
That's what I would absolutely tend to. The skins, the little tertiary things too, right? That you'd be able to buy those gas tokens or energy tokens or whatever boosts, and without having to pay gas, because that would be, that would almost defeat the purpose of what that's there for, right?
And I'm sure they'll eventually have some sort of subscription, like the Jade ticket and everything like that, the VIP status.
Yeah.
And I know, like in Eve we were talking about, you can buy their monthly subscription in game for Plex. So. Right.
Okay, and then Friday. Friday was a thing that almost confirmed one of the theories that was put out in the Theory channel by Robbie One Kenobi, talking about, oh wait, you know what? This one is good enough to where I should go ahead and fire the news sounder, because we've gone way outside of the standard star owner interview thing, and we are now definitely into this.
News from the Solaverse and beyond.
I should have fired that the bumper off when we started getting into some of this news stuff. But this was big news to me. On Friday, this is what Senna had to say. Orbiting planets, that the number of planets that are orbiting, talking about the number of planets orbiting around your star. The planets will have many different properties and attributes that define their function and usefulness. When Solar Planet NFTs are released, you'll have some control over the types of planets in your system, so you'll be able to pick and choose the ones that are most effective for the system you want to build. Gravity, the strength of the gravity in your system, will affect the positions of the planets that orbit your star. The distance from your star will affect multiple things, including production rates and resources on them. Asteroid belts. What's that?
And planet availability, what type of planet you can pick.
Right. Asteroid belts will provide a wealth of supplies and resources, but at what cost, right? Yeah. And you'll be able to skin your, well, actually, you know what? I'm gonna wait that. I'm gonna wait on that one, because that's the thing that he said John was going to kill him for, and so we'll get John's reaction in chat here in just a second. And although John has already seen it, I would like to know how he reacted at some point. But to me, that was something that Robbie was speculating, that it would affect how you could slot those planets in and how far they were. And that goes back to that riddle that was in the second AMA. Mm-hmm. That actually plays as a sounder off the top of the show. The farther away, the farther your planet from your star, the better collector that you are. And gravity's the things you're looking for, and it'll raise the floor. So those outer planets seem to be the ones that are affected by the higher gravity allows them to be further from your star. Therefore, maybe that increases the availability of the minerals because they haven't been pulled away. I don't know. I don't know. My
guess is, the larger your star is, the stronger the gravity. So the more planets you can have orbiting around it, and the farther those planets are, I'm guessing you probably get rarer materials. Minerals that are in resources that are in low availability.
Right, and that kind of is in standing with astronomical principles too, right? Because the further you get away from the center of gravity, the more things that can happen, right? Because not enough happens in a high center of gravity, because everything stays compact, everything stays together. So, the
biggest thing for me in that hint is, or not hint, but the drop is the asteroids at what cost? Now that makes me speculate that these asteroids, based on whatever gravity you have, are going to be moving towards the sun, and there's possible, I don't want to say, destruction, but there could be, asteroids hitting your planets, ruining resources, making them barren in the future. I mean, no system is truly static.
And what I took, you're almost right on point with what I was thinking about. At what cost, right? I think you're going to have to build or buy NFTs that are mining rigs to be able to do this. And what I also think is in the asteroid belts that you're going to see a fair amount of asteroid collisions. And that could potentially break
off.
Yes, or damage your... And I don't know how you destroy or burn an NFT in-game. I was involved with talking with another project at some point in time, and they mentioned that they were having a real struggle about destroying NFTs, that they could not destroy NFTs, and so they've chosen to wrap them and upgrade or downgrade them based on if they get damaged or whatever, which you can do. I just don't think you can burn them, or at least there's not a good mechanism to do it in game. But
because each person has their own wallet,
Right, exactly, right. And so it's but at what cost is a good thing, right? Is will you constantly have to put more Sola into mining operations on an asteroid because of the damage that could happen with things like that, right? And there's John. We obviously want to be as close to actual physics as possible, otherwise things just won't make sense. But we may use a bit of poetic license here and there.
Whatever works best for the game.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it doesn't have to be exact. In the end, we just want to play the game you guys build, John.
Right, yeah. And that's where Robbie and I were talking in that channel about theories, and I was talking about the closer that an IP, intellectual property, by the way, the closer that an IP comes to building itself as a simulation, and it is the further that it strays away from being a game. And then it becomes more work than it is play. And so I didn't want to see us cross over that line of making it a true simulation. And I still wanted to have fun. And so it's good to see John say that poetic license. They want to stay true to physics, but they don't want to make it, crazy. Yeah.
A game that's too realistic is just reality, right?
Right. And Davis Tad is in here saying it'd be nice if the taxation rate on a planet is variable to assist negotiations. It is, as a matter of fact. Senna has already said that, and that's something that wasn't last week, but it's not necessarily variable, but you have the power to be able to negotiate a split.
It's a tool to attract people to your system.
I view that a lot like the Axie Infinity scholarship thing, right? That you let people play with your NFTs, which is something, by the way, that I really need an answer on. I really need John to come and spoil this right now as to whether or not if I buy a star, if I go into partnership with somebody who doesn't have enough money, can I own the star and let them run it? Because it's going to be sitting in my wallet, so how do they run it, right? And that's what I'm wondering, is if that's going to be a possibility of allowing people to run your stars if you're not able to run them yourself. I think the answer to that is yes, but I don't know how they're going to do that. Santa's kind of alluded to renting, but he never actually said it. But so I don't know. Anyway, the last thing that Santa said that John said he was going to kill him. He said, you'll be able to skin your spaceships and fight with them. So I like the fight. And we talked about the skinning. Those skins will be NFTs, and yes, you'll be able to trade those NFTs on a gas-free marketplace. John will hate me for this, but at some point you're going to be able to create your own skins and mint and sell them.
Mm-hmm. One, you got to worry a little about overpopulation, but when we're getting down to the skins, there's so much in the game already that, why not? Why not give the players that custom ability or customization?
And when you're talking about, I think our slotty NFT at some point, emphasis on some point, right? It's going to be future. Where Slotty got it right was that where they're going to breed, they are not going to be the same class of NFT. They're going to be the baby slots, right? And so I think that's where they got it right. That's where Axie Infinity, in my opinion, is starting to falter, because it's getting to that same point where the overpopulation is so immense that it now costs more to breed an Axie than it is to buy an Axie, because the price... The
Zed
price.
had the same problem with the racehorses. The overpopulation was
Yeah.
crazy. You could buy a horse for half the cost of breeding one, and
Right.
I mean, yeah, they tried to solve it by making the horse stats, vary. But in the end, people are willing to take a risk on a horse that has a losing streak and think they can do better than they are to spend more money to breed one. It's the
Right.
same. It's a lottery ticket.
Yeah, yeah. And so that is one of the things that that I really wanted to say. Yeah, we're going to be able to make our own skins. I imagine you're going to have to mine a certain amount of stuff to create a certain amount of stuff, right? And that's consistent. Star Wars Galaxies is one of my favorite games ever, and it had such a great crafting mechanic to it. Still considered one of the best ever in terms of games, right? And World of Warcraft obviously has a great crafting system as well, but you had to go out and get the resources to make whatever it is you're going to make. And the resources had quality. This is where it gets more simulation than game, is that you had to fetch and find the places that had the best quality resources to make the best quality NFT, well, the best quality item to play with, right? And that affected, how much damage it did, how much shield it gave you, whatever. I don't know if it's going to be that far here.
And
but
they have to have a certain amount of unpredictability there, because if it was all true to fact, then people would just sit in the best spot all the time, and it'd be overpopulated. You wouldn't be
Right.
able to distribute all that to everyone. You need to be able to have that very variability to make everyone travel.
Right, and that's the great thing about Star Wars Galaxies, is that those nodes would come up and go away, and so you'd have to explore the planets to find them. And I had a very nice little crafting business, and my guy on Star Wars Galaxies was a Mon Calamari. You're familiar with Star Wars?
Yeah.
So the Mon Calamari, that's Admiral Akbar, right? It's a trap. They're fish people with these giant eyeballs, and so my guy was named Two Large Eyes Kilroy. And so I had quite the little business of making weapons, and so I would go out and farm all these resources to make the best pistols that were found in the game, and I would make tons of credits. But in the new world of NFTs, that is you make good stuff and people will pay, and their actual currency that can be converted from it. We're getting toward Ready Player One type stuff, right? Where you're making real world money with digital assets that you're creating within a world, right? And this is where
we were kind of already doing that. Before NFTs even came along, you had people, selling their accounts or items on World of Warcraft on eBay, and going back to EVE Online. There were real life corporations that were run within the game that would then sell off for millions of dollars.
Right.
People bought these corporations that were full of people, mining and creating and crafting ships, and it became a business. So now that NFTs are in the picture, it's just going to be all
Right.
on system.
Yep.
And a lot cleaner.
Yep. I remember when I sold my Star Wars Galaxy account, it was very much against terms of service, but I just found a guy who wanted it, and we made a deal, and I don't remember how much it was. It was in the hundreds of dollars. I don't remember what it was, but from what I remember, I transferred it to him, and we stayed in touch for a little bit, and then he went off and did whatever he was going to do.
Yeah.
But
people had businesses where they pay people to grind their account for them.
Oh, I did that. I did that on a couple of MMOs where I would level up quicker just to be able to get to the good stuff, right? The good gameplay, right? And so I was one of those that would get somebody to grind my account for me. Hell, I actually had a coach at one point when I was learning Hearthstone, so where I got to Legend for the first time, that I threw a guy $50 and he sat with me for a couple of hours as we grinded up through what at the time was just from rank 5 to rank 1 before the whole platinum, diamond, all that stuff came into play before you got to Legend. This was several years ago. And so, but yeah, I mean, I'm not averse to paying real world money to people who are going to help me in game, right? And so this is just this full circle.
Yeah, and I mean, you think on it, like I played a little bit of Hearthstone, but I eventually switched over to MTGA actually, and I spent real world money buying cards, and
Yeah,
now your real world money is just going to be the token.
right. And
It's
so
a smooth.
you mentioned that I quit Hearthstone after 8 years. I was in the alpha, I was in the beta. A friend of mine works for Blizzard, and I left this last expansion. I finally quit because I'm playing Gods Unchained, and I own the cards. I can sell the cards. And I used to own a game shop back in the day. Magic the Gathering was the big thing. And I would buy and sell those cards, and it became a commodity type industry. And that's where the
Still is.
shop made the majority of their money, is on Magic the Gathering and trading and buying cards. And so even MTGA, you don't own the cards. You can't trade them for anything. You're buying those packs, and then you can't do anything with them.
And there's
So
no limit.
right,
There's no uniqueness.
right, and it's considerably harder in MTGA than it is in Hearthstone because you just need two legendaries, one legendary in Hearthstone. You can't play with multiples. Whereas the mythics, you have four that can go into a deck, and so you've got to collect all that. Anyway, you can spend a ton of money on it, and you've got nothing to show for
You
it.
can
That's the
understand.
thing.
You can get a little glimpse into how dedicated gamers are and how much how big a deal it was for you to leave Hearthstone because yeah, you spent money on that account and time.
Yeah, I went and did the numbers, and I figured that I had spent well over $3,000 on that property over 8 years, and that's just a conservative estimate of $250 per quarter of buying the stuff that as new expansions came out,
Yeah,
which is
and
probably
NFTs and metaverse is just going to make all that permanent. It's going to
Right.
be worth it.
right. And at that point, all you're really spending is your time, and so and I know I'm going over repeated territory, but
It's fun.
yeah. But anyway, all right, Chad. Hey, you guys, I really appreciate you jumping on. I think this is pretty much where we kind of dive off the cliff here and begin to end things. But I'll offer John one more opportunity to throw out a leak in chat, which he won't do. And
Did you ask him about that one that you wanted to specifically?
I did, but he didn't answer.
That was what you were asking is
Yeah.
is the star thing.
I was asking about potentially doing those types
Managed for
of
you.
rental things. Yeah, exactly right. And I did ask him, hey, what did he do when Senna did that thing? And he said facepalm, same as always with Senna's postings.
Oh, John.
But he says he missed the question. And if you can answer it, will you be able to rent your stars? Meaning, if I don't want to actively manage it, can I rent the star to somebody else to manage and make money off of and that stuff? I don't know if you can answer that or not. And if you can't, no big deal. But that would be one of the first. That would be one of the first. You heard it here first from John. That would ever happen in the world.
I think one day John's just going to come out with a ton of leaks.
Yeah, exactly. And I would love it if you would go back when I publish the show and put it up on. And in fact, Twitch will have it. Twitch will have it immediately as a replay. YouTube will also have it immediately as a replay. And at about 5 minutes in, maybe 7 minutes in or so, I play your theme music, which is basically a police chatter with calling out. What that? Yeah, I'll say. So okay, so he says I can't add directly, but they like the idea. So maybe.
I'm sure they got to work out
Right.
how it's done, just like we were talking about burning NFTs. You got to figure out the utility mechanics.
Yeah, there's a mechanic in there that is going to be hard to overcome because the star is sitting in someone else's wallet. So how do you allow access to that? And Axie obviously figured it out.
Well, you can deny access, I guess, from the platform, so that the code can't enter the game.
Right.
I guess.
Right.
Unmistaken.
And I don't remember how Axie did their scholarships, but I want to say that you had to create a separate wallet for those NFTs to go into, and then
two other games I'm involved in that are the same way. Like they own the wallet essentially, but only you have the password.
Right, right. So then you go in and you play on them, but you have, like an administrator access, and they don't, or something like that. So I don't know. It's all user management stuff that kind of it starts to get into the weeds a little bit from a software perspective. But
the one good thing is though that you avoid gas fees.
yes. So that's it, man. That's hey, so chat. How do you get involved if you want to have questions answered on the show? You can certainly do that by emailing me, Yoda at d20radio.com, D20RADIO, Yoda at d20radio.com. You can email me questions. You can obviously put them in the Discord. We use the fan video channel for me to get questions and stuff out of. So you can do that if you need to. My doggos just came out. And you guys can do that as well. And then obviously if you join in the chat, which we've been up and we've been down. I think we got to a maximum of 23 people, and we're sitting at 16 right now in chat. So I really appreciate all of you guys showing up for this. It was fun. We went a little bit longer than we had anticipated, but it was good discussion, I believe.
I had fun.
Yeah. And so
I just wanted to say I appreciate you doing this too. I mean, I know you do it for your own enjoyment, of course, but it can't be easy, and you got to work out those bugs. And once you get mods in the chat, they'll do the reminders for you. That'll help out. But
that's what we're going to do.
I absolutely love it.
Yep. Obsidian called for a hydrate. I don't have a drink in front of me, and he probably I'm a little bit under the weather, and so my throat started to hurt.
I'll do it for you.
There you go. Hydrate. Awesome. But yeah, Obsidian, thank you very much, dude. And this was one of the kind of things that was meant to. Hey, John, thank you so much for saying that, dude. That means a ton. It really does. And Obsidian, this is one of those things that we had hoped that you were going to come on and get motivated and jazzed about this project and go and mint yourself a star. So go ahead and do that right now. We'll wait. I'm going to look at the counter. We'll wait for you to go ahead and mint that. Okay?
Oh, I'm gonna be talking to him after this. We're gonna play some games and do some catching up. So I'm sure I'll try to sway him into it. But I'm sure he's excited about it. He loves it. The whole crypto universe. But you were talking about how you had your own business or economy, and he's big into that. Like any game we ever played, he was the one who was all about making money off of it. And at the time it was fake money, and now it's real money. So
yeah,
I can't see him not wanting to get into it.
Right. So yeah, Obsidian, I can't wait to see you on the Discord with a red name or even a blue name. In fact, let's make it a blue name.
I'm still not blue. I got to verify. It's on me. I talked to Sky and Robbo the other night, and I just got to re-verify my wallet.
Right, because it'll come back and it'll sync up with your wallet again. And somehow, when I transferred that star away, it knew that I went from 10 to 9. So somehow it knew that, but it doesn't give you the uptick. I don't know. But looks like the family's all getting up and around back in the background, so I'll cut it off before we get too much background noise and say thank you guys for showing up. I really appreciate it. It's a wonderful thing. We'll be back next week with, quite honestly, I don't know who is going to be on next week now, because I had a couple of people lined up that couldn't do it this week, and so I may just blow it up completely and just wait. John says, last word, 24th of December, 2021, Christmas Eve. Keep an eye on the social channels. You didn't hear that from me.
Nice. A little bit more.
There's a teaser from John. Christmas Eve. Let's do it.
Hey, and if you ever need a guest, I mean, even an emergency fill-in, I'll do it for you.
All right,
talking
dude.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so next up, if you guys want to be on the show, hit me up on Discord. You can send me a private message. I've got the DMs open. And do it, or send me a friend request. That's even better if you send me a friend request in Discord, and then we know that the Solaverse family is one united. We're there. We're going to make a bunch of money for each other, and we're going to look back when we all have Lamborghinis, and I'll have you all to my place. We've got like 15 acres and a little lake if you like to fish, and we'll grill some steaks and make some brisket and maybe even butcher a cow for everybody. And,
Nice.
Although, you know, I did have 2 cows die in the last few weeks, but yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, and make sure to go check out my Twitter. It's at Bongabite, and there's a
There you go.
giveaway for some people. So just enter it. It's pretty simple. Go ahead.
There you go. He's at Bongabite. I am at the Big Yoda on Twitter. If you guys want to follow that, that'd be great too. Twitch, obviously, shoot me a follow, shoot me a sub. If you've got your Amazon sub, it's free to you, but it actually makes a little money for me, so that's great. And hey, you know what? Whoa, Nikki, I don't think we needed to know that. It's a little bit too much information. Having a little wank, are you? Okay, that's no problem. Okay. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later, and I will say good night and good luck.